Hi guys, welcome to my video. My name is Emily. I'm here to show you my my weekly cross stitching update. Doesn't feel like I've done a lot of stitching this week. I've only got 4 things to show you, and yeah, getting on. Got my book with me this week so I can give you important numbers. I'm on a lot more with it this week. Gosh, last week I was really out of it. I had some terrible days last week. I've done 5,000 stitches last week, which for me is not huge. I mean, that's what, 700 stitches a day. It's not big for me really, but it is what it is, and I've plodded on. 4 things to show you. I'm going to jump right in and just show you my treasure hunt bookshelf, which last night I finished for the month. It is at 11%. It took me 2,500 stitches to get it to 11%. And I'm very, very pleased that it is at 11%. I ended up doing big chunks of colour because I started off the month doing little filling ins, which is brilliant and needs to be done, but big numbers it does not make. So I'm going to show you a picture of it as it was in my video last week here, and if I can dredge it, I will show you a picture of it at 10%. So you can see what 1%, the difference 1% makes. It's out of its Q-snap, and it is now here. So this is the bit I've been working on this month. I've got a parasol, I think it's a parasol, turned up there. This is what I put the 2,500 stitches into, almost exclusively this. I did put some into this book here and a few more into this book, but almost exclusively I've gone into this parasol here. So 11% of super max colour super size. It's gone dark. That's, come on light, lighten up. Right, it's lightened up. So there we go, 11%, and it's out of its Q-snap because I'm going to put the Q-snap back on here, and I'm going to start for April. I'm going to pick him up here somewhere, and I'm heading end of May. I want to be here. I want the stitch in on this. Yes, I could put a stitch in the corner, but I'm going to go from here to here by the end of May in a small wavy band. One presumes it's not going to be, I've done a solid chunk. It's going to be meandery like I stitch. So I'm going to start here in 2 days. 2 days I'll start here and I'll head that way. And we'll see where I get to in April. Giving myself April and May. Obviously I'm only going to do 1% in April. It'll be 12% at the start of May, and then in May I'm just going to stitch on it. And we'll see how long I keep it up in May. It might be all of May, it might be half of May, it might be a week and a half, and I'll be pig sick of it and I've done 1% and I'm like, you know what guys, 1%'s enough. We'll see. My plan is to only stitch on this in May, and the Buffy Threads kit from my mum, which is in my biggest bag, but not quite the right size for an 11-inch Q-snap size. Oh, I tell you what I did today. I finally braided up. Look at this nasty stuff. You hear this? It really is horrid. I've got the hang of it, but it was driving me bananas, so I braided it up today to get it out of the way because it was just loose and hanging everywhere. So since last week, where it looked a bit like this, I have decided it was time to get on with it, and because it's all very well going, I'm going to do 1 block a month. You actually have to do 1 block a month if you're doing something in 12 pieces. You really have to do 1 a month if you want it done in a year. So I have finished block number 2 finally, and I don't know if I'd started block 3. Don't think I've done. There is a dog. Nothing to do with me. The dog is nothing to do with me. It's loud. I'm sorry. I've never heard a dog here. I think it's had its wee. You can let it back in now. Obviously wants to go back in its door, doesn't it? It's like, I've had my wee, can I go in? Right, so I've started number 3, which is a French hen. I think it's one, by looking at it, I think this is going to be one French hen. So I've done quite a bit of the green background. I've got the gold. It's going to be about this. I'm almost at the bottom of the block with the gold. I put a strand of gold in wherever I can, really, whenever I can be bothered. Haven't done any more on number 4. So really March, April. So hopefully 2 in the month. We'll see. I do need to crack on and get on with it. So, yep. So number 2's done. Finally, should have been done a month ago. But and I've gone sort of across the top first block, across the top second block, just filling in this green, and then I'll fill in this colour, and then I'll see what's on the third block down. We'll see. I'm probably going to fill it in as I go, because I can only really put in a couple of strands at a time. I get little breaks at work. It's now hot enough in the kitchen that I can go and sit outside if it's not pouring with rain. So I basically just sit this outside on the chair, and when I go outside, I'll pick it up, I'll put in 10-15 stitches, and then I'll go back in again. So a little and often. So I've done that much. I think it is a single hen. Yes, it's a single hen here and a 3. So 1 French hen, but three French hens. And then there's 4 turtle doves, and I think that's the head of 2 of the turtle doves. So I assume there's going to be another 2 and a 4 in the middle. Again, I'm not looking at the pattern. I just like to stitch in it for it to emerge. So this gold is everywhere. I was cutting them in half and only getting like 10 or 12 stitches out of each length. I've now worked out how to use the long strand. Oh, please let your dog back in. Okay, so it's paper pattern. I sort a couple of strands out so that I'm not needing to constantly ferret in my project bag. And yeah, if I need to cool down a bit, have a little break, I go and sit outside for a few minutes on the chair outside in like the yard at the back behind the kitchen, and I'll sit and do a couple of stitches, and it's literally like 10 or 12 is enough, and then I'm cool and I go back in and get on. But yeah, good. So that's Bossy Threads kit, jogging on with that. Treasure hunt bookshelf, absolute must. Now, bountiful bookshelf, I have stalled. I was hoping to get this to 10%, partly because I finished Castle Walls and Shooting Star at the beginning of March. I didn't get going on this properly, and I wanted to do 2.02, I think, percent to get it to 10%. It was at 798 at the beginning of the month. It's currently at 9.18, so I am 3,000 stitches off being 10%. I put in 1125 stitches. I think I'm going to have one more go at this and try and get the little Snow White in the middle. So last week it looked like this. I can actually show you a difference this week because I put 1100 stitches into it. And this week it looks like this. So I really wanted the entire book finished. I don't think I'm going to get it done. I've kind of moved on already. So I think this is mostly reds in here. So I think I wanted to get everything but the reds done. I think I'm just going to go for it and do the reds and get this little girl in the middle of this book as a little sign off for the month maybe. So I might just do that. It might not. I might not even show this. If I don't put any more stitches into this in the next couple of days, I won't even show it next week. So this might be this for a while. But we'll see. See, now I'm looking at it and I want to get this book done because there's so little gaps really. I mean, look, it's nearly done. And most of these are about 2 or 3 colours. It really isn't difficult. I just haven't got into the flow of it. I think it's too much bookshelf. I think big bookshelf and this bookshelf is too much to just have them, if you see what I mean. I think I need to set, if it's a bookshelf, I think I need to set myself a small goal. And then if I exceed it, it's brilliant. I think saying I'm going to do 7,000 stitches this month on this was a bit keen, because 3,500 is 1%, so I think that was a little keen of me to think I could do it. With everything else, I wasn't expecting to get COVID and lose 3 or 4 days to just brain fog, which really happened. And I've stitched on one other thing this week, and I've stitched on it because I asked you last week to vote between 3 pieces, which I'm going to try and finish in April, one of them. Now, I had a runaway winner. Well, I didn't have a runaway winner. It was very close. City of Love, Stitch Rovia, absolutely beautiful. I'll put the picture up here. Did not win. He fell by the wayside quite quickly. Beautiful piece, and I will stitch on it this year. So I got 33 votes for the City of Love, which is good. However, the Dragon and the Cat, I got a lot more votes for, and it's been like this all week. And then the Dragon pulled ahead, so I pulled it out, and I thought it's going to be the Dragon. So I pulled it out and I've stitched on it. Thought I'll get a head start. Clever, I'll get a head start. So I've put in 1,400 stitches into this. Looked like this before, and it's now at 49%. So now it looks like this. So you can see where I'm going to. You can see easily with the light behind it, see how much I've stitched. It is filthy dirty, as I keep saying. Let's get this finished and I can wash it, right? So bottom's here. So I've got a big swathe to do across the bottom. I've got this bit here to fill in. I've got this bit and that bit. And that's the side. Ooh, that's a needle. That was my finger and a needle. So the side is that line there. So yeah, I'm 49%. I'm halfway through. I need to do about 760 stitches a day to finish it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch on it and I'm going to reassess every day how many stitches to go each day, including stitching on it today, including stitching on it tomorrow. It should knock the average down a bit, but he's a gorgeous little dragon. So in the end, turns out the Dragon and the Cat, as of right now today, Starling just threw something at the conservatory roof. As of today, the Dragon and the Cat have both got 62 votes. It's a dead heat, which wasn't what I was expecting, because 4 days ago the Dragon was 8 ahead, and I thought, right, it's clear the Dragon's going to win. So because it's a dead heat, and I'm not counting the votes now because I've counted up the votes and I'm going to draw a couple of giveaways. So if you vote after that, you've kind of missed the boat. I'm going to stitch on this in April. I'm stitching on my treasure hunt bookshelf in May, and I'll be stitching on Hubble Bubble in June. So April, hopeful finish in April, stitch on that in May, and hopeful finish Hubble Bubble in June. Because it was a dead heat and I pulled it. I was confident and I pulled it, and it's still a dead heat, and I assume because it's a dead heat I get the deciding vote, and I think because I've already started stitching on that, that's my decision. So that's what I've decided. So there we go. So 5,000 for the week. I've actually only done 68 stitches more than I did last week. Bear in mind that I'm not counting these stitches. I'm not counting in my weekly totals. These I add to my annual total when I finish the block. So it's 3,364 added on to my annual total. I am keeping score. So yeah, and I'll do at the end of tomorrow, when I've got my stitches in for tomorrow, I will roll my numbers up for March and add them on to my January and February, and then I'll know where I am for the year to date. So there we go just now. So the last time I stitched on this little monkey, I actually wrote myself a note, 2 post-it notes, with the stitches I've got left to do. So the colours with under 500 stitches left. You can see I've already crossed out 2 more. That means I've colour completed them. I was trying to colour complete. And then I've got a couple that are 500 to 1,000, and then these are the ones to over 1,000. So stitches left to stitch. There's a lot of big block colour. That's why I'm confident I can get this done, because there's a lot of big block of 3753, 3756, 3865, all those very pale, all these pale, paly colours. They're big chunks, and I mean they're big chunks. They're like the 3865, look, huge chunk, we can get that done, I can batter out 1,000 stitches there, like that, done, because it's all joined. I can just say, right, all of that box, stitch it in, and I'll just stitch it in. It's not like picking out a stitch here and a stitch there, which takes all the time. It's not confetti heavy, which is why I'm kind of confident that I can get it done, but we'll see. I might not be able to. We'll see. Right, so I'm just going to go in and copy my clipboard. I have got a couple of giveaways which I've brought with me. I've actually used my brain ahead of time, which is difficult for me, I know. My channel, this playlist here, and I want to share it, and I want to copy its link. Right, so I want to go to YouTube comment picker. So I've had an okay week. Oh, I had the dentist. I've been waiting 18 months to have the very back tooth was half root canaled. And because it's been 18 months half done, it's completely healed. They couldn't finish it because it was infected and it was like bleeding and there was pus and it was, well, I've got very, very short roots in my teeth and they're rubbish. Basically, my teeth are. My lovely dentist said, they're very clean. You keep your teeth beautifully clean, but they're rubbish teeth. And I was like, great. So my teeth are rubbish, but they're really clean, but they're rubbish. Perfect. YouTube comment picker. Comment picker. Random YouTube comment picker. Right, let's open that. So I went, she numbed me up. I have to have the anaesthetic. In the UK we get injections, we get local anaesthetic injections. And I have to have the one without the adrenaline because I tremble like a leaf as it is. Like anything even remotely scary makes me tremble, or anything that makes me feel anxious makes me tremble. So adrenaline, no. So they put adrenaline into the anaesthetic because it suppresses bleeding. So my teeth always bleed like pigs if they get drilled into, but that's because I have to have that. Otherwise I tremble for 4 days and I'm like, can't drive my car because I'm like this trying to drive my car. I found out one time when they gave it me by accident. So I was numb to here. And also I'm really sensitive to anaesthetic, so it works super well. My ear was numb, I was numb down here, I was numb all down here, thought I couldn't breathe, and mine was numb to about there. So this bit, and I had to go back to work and this bit of me wasn't working, and apparently I was really grumpy. The lady I worked with on Tuesday was, yeah, on Wednesday she said, yeah, I just ignored you yesterday. You were being really off, so I just ignore you when you're like that. And I was like, brilliant, thanks, because that's how she is with me. Yeah, I was much better than the next day. So I had the one that was root canaled, long story short, the one that was root canal, half root canaled. She said, I really should finish it, and I just said, please don't, please, let's not poke the bear. So she's just filled it, which is lovely. And I had another little filling, which had to be done, but it was only a little one. And the one at the bottom was a big cavity, so she drilled that out and she went, oh, this one needs a root canal, and I said, no thank you, could you just fill it? So she's filled it, we're just going to wait and see. So all fine. Moral of the story, don't wait 18 months to go to the dentist because it's hopeless, your teeth have dropped to pieces by then. Anyway, paste your YouTube link here. While I was doing that, fetch. Lecture you would like. Include replies. keyword. Keyword. So I'm going to put my keyword as dragon. Continue. 30 comments. It can't be 30 comments because I had 62 comments. That's not right. No. I'm going to a different one. That's not right. Let's YouTube random. Sorry about that, guys. I just had to edit a bit out because I was just really struggling to find a comment picker that was working. The one that was not working for me had a "I am not a robot" in it that clearly I am completely can't find, and I am not a robot. So for anyone who guessed dragon or selected dragon or wants me to stitch on the dragon, I've got this rather nice one from The Hobbit. Little needle minder. It's a Hobbit one with a big dragon on it. Nice orange dragon, orangey greeny dragon. So it's a little Hobbit postage stamp, one of my standard needle minders. This one's weirdly a little bit curved, but here we go. So I've pulled up finally, and I'm going to start. So, marzipan stitcher. I can pop you this in the post. There we go. She just said dragon. I shall indeed stitch on the dragon. Thank you, Marcia. I'll put this in the post to you. She's one of my gang. There we go. There we go. So that's dragon. So let's go back in and change it for... I thought I'd do 3 because I had so many comments, which is quite unusual for me to get so many comments. It was really lovely to get the comments. Solve the sum this time. 7 and 9 is 16, I hope. Yep, right. So for the cat, is that what I just asked? I think I just did cat. Yes. So for the cat, I found a rather lovely ginger cat. New needle minder. So that's that one there. It's been through the post. You can see it's had a bit of life on it, this stamp, but it's just one of my standard sort of needle minders with a lovely ginger cat on it. And I will stitch on Hubble Bubble in June because it was a dead heat. And that's the next month I've got available. So let's do the cat. Penguin cross stitch. I think I've come across you before as well. Drop me a wee line on Instagram just to let me know that who you are, and I think we might have conversed already. If you're a YouTuber, I'm not sure. That might be the penguin cross stitcher. Anyway, drop me a line on Instagram. I'm Emily.Brind. I'll put it up here and you'll find me on Instagram. And I'll post you out this little cat needle minder. And then our last one was Love, which I will stitch on this year, I promise. 5 plus 1 is 6. See, there's I am not a robot. And for this one, I'm going to give away a pair of very old. I use them to hold patterns like this. See, that's got a needle minder and a little circle on there. These are lovely for holding paper patterns onto a frame or something. And there is a queen and a queen's father, King George the something, 7th, was he? I don't know. They're both 1.5 shillings, 1.5 old pennies, 1.5 old pennies, yes. Pre-decimalisation, obviously. There we go. They're as old as the hills, these stamps. So these come as a pair. They've got sparkly rhinestones on the back, which I thought were rather jazzy. These are my big fat gypsy wedding, glue them onto their wedding dress type things, which I thought were rather good, cool. So I glued them onto the back of needle minders. So the pair of those are going for Love. Right, get YouTube comments. Right. Lots of comments, because lots of people said Love as well as, oh, I'd love you to stitch on the dragon. So I went with dragon. But then if somebody said my choice is love, then I counted it as love. But it's picked up everybody who said love. So if you said I'd love you to stitch on the dragon, then you're in this one as well. Let's have a look. Flosstube, licensed to stitch. Trisha, you've won those two little guys. Drop me a little comment on Instagram and I will get those in the post to you. So thank you very much everybody for messaging, being bothered to leave me a comment. It's always much appreciated, and I'm going to get stitching because I really need to. And yeah, so coming up is just a nice normal week. Our clock's changed. It is 20 to 7. It's 20 to 7. Nice and light. So yeah, all's good. And feeling much better. And I will see you next week. I'll do a little wrap up for the end of the month, maybe. I think I've already finished what I'm finishing this month. I've got some good finishes. I will do a little wrap up for March next week, even though it'll be the 5th or 6th. Yeah, it'll be the 6th, won't it, of April. I should have some progress to show you. Hopefully this will have more progress in. And I will see you, and you'll see the pilgrim next week. I'm going to have to find the pattern. I've got to find the pattern. So I will see you next week, guys. Thanks for watching me. Bye.